Jared Polin, Frono's Photo.com, and welcome to another Raw Talk episode. This week it's number 48. If you've been listening to prior weeks, we had 47 version 1 and 47, well, part 1 and part 2. So technically it could, well, it's 48. Yeah. It's not 49. Technically it's 48 because we had part 1 of 47 and part 2 of 47. You should check those out if you haven't listened to them yet. They were pretty cool, Steven.
They were very good.
So some housekeeping notes from last week's episode that you guys picked up on. The song that I was trying to sing, We Like to Party, was The Venga Boys. I don't know why I couldn't remember that, because I'm probably mixing it between Miley Cyrus and because maybe it's a song, We Like to Party. We like to party.
You're thinking Party in the USA or whatever?
No.
That's
I'm thinking of that other Miley Cyrus song, that song that I just played you, where she's like, only God can judge us, all those sisters with the big butts. And then she goes, yeah, and then she wiggles her butt. By the way, I saw some comments saying that I was wearing a thong. I was not wearing a thong. It was just the way that the shorts and my... here, I wasn't wearing...
It's the way the seam was.
I don't wear thongs.
Stop. What are you doing?
I'm showing people this is not a thong.
Boxers or briefs.
These are boxer briefs. Hold on, let me button my pants up for those of you watching at home. I had to
for those on the podcast, Jared just got butt naked. No,
I didn't get butt naked. I just took off my pants a little bit to show you the boxer briefs.
A little uncomfortable.
I prefer boxer briefs, Steven. What do you prefer?
Kind of the same thing, pretty much, but it doesn't really matter.
Well, because tighty whities are too constricting.
Old school.
Yeah, I used to wear the underoos. I probably had He-Man underoos. And then briefs or boxers are too. They don't have enough. You need to be held in by something.
It's funny you bring the thong thing up because when I was editing it, I originally was going to cut to when you started to shake your ass. I was originally going to cut to the D4 angle.
Yeah.
But it looked like you were wearing a thong, so I didn't. And then people still in the GoPro angle, thought that you were.
Whatever.
And still commented. I was trying to save it, but
well, they still commented. They still commented. You know what? I don't wear a thong. I haven't tried Meg's on yet. Well, I asked. I'm like, can I try that? I'm like. She's like, it feels just like you think it feels. I'm like, oh.
Not comfortable.
Not comfortable? Like tinsel between your tuchus? Tuchus cheeks? Hashtag tuchus. Anyway. So that was the Venga Boys. We Like to Party, and that was the Six Flags Great Adventure theme. They are not sponsoring. Because, yeah, Six Flags. You been to Six Flags?
Not lately. I've been there, yeah.
What I hate about Six Flags, it's such a small park, and there's always lines.
Always.
I guess, and now they charge you more to get to the front.
Do they?
There's like a fast
they have
pass.
That fast pass.
Everybody does. That's such crap.
But you still have to wait usually in the fast pass.
Steven. I'm not going to drink my apple juice right now. So yeah, before we get into other stuff, why don't we talk about some news? Well, hold on. Sorry.
I'm holding on.
I'm not really sorry. What we have coming up this week. We've got the news. We've got a follow-up on my opinion episode because somebody else got another letter. And then I've got a concert contract that a photographer was given to photograph. And he asked me if he should photograph this artist. I'm not going to say who the artist is or the management because he asked me not to, but it's a bunch of crapola. So we'll talk about that as well. Steven, it's time for your news.
Photo
but Steven,
news.
I want to apologize for interrupting you all the time. Not really.
It's all good. I know, not really.
Yeah.
Because you love it. First of all, as far as intro music goes, 2 people have emailed me about it. And I checked it out. They're good stuff, but we still got to, I think, keep looking. There's thanks to Nick Brennan and Rob Groove. We should use his stuff just because his last name's awesome. But yeah, they both sent me some instrumentals. I'm assuming their own. And then I had a few people tweeting me as well. But again, if you guys have anything that you want to send that in and
Steven,
make sure it's your own or copyright free.
Yeah.
Something we can use.
So if you guys create something, send it to Steven, STEPHEN,
correct,
at Frono's Photo, probably 10 to 15 seconds at most.
Yeah.
Come up with something cool. If you have a theme for the news, send that into Steven and we'll use it.
Yeah, not too much, not too little.
I'll
just
send you a t-shirt or something.
Anyway, first up, we have, you had pointed this out to me earlier this week, so not sure how new it is, but it's still just real incredible and amazing as far as photography goes. A set of old photos from World War II, that era, have surfaced online, and they've been restored, colorized, all that kind of stuff.
Is that the same as era?
Era. Same difference.
Era. No. Era. That's Stern doing like Jack Kennedy.
I was doing my remix.
Oh, you're
whatever.
all right, go
But yeah, they were restored, put up online. There's a gallery of about 40 of them, or maybe even 50 images. But it has everything from women working in the factories to the men on the field, all that kind of stuff. It's really interesting just to see how great these images look. They look like they were taken today in a studio.
Well,
like,
the photos
crazy.
look cleaner,
Very
and
clean.
clearer. The colors look fantastic. It makes you feel like you're there, except it's 1940 something.
Yeah, exactly.
It's awesome.
More rumors for you. We have
For ya?
There's a new
I noticed
rumor.
you haven't been doing that on the radio. You've been catching yourself, haven't you?
I try not to. I think of you when I do
I
it.
know. It's 'cause I see what happens when I go to the gym at 8:30 in the morning and I'm working out. By 9 o'clock, around 9-ish is when your music
Which is when
news
the first
comes on.
update plays.
The
Yeah.
first update. So I stop my trainer. I'm like, it's Steven. We got to listen to his music news. And then I'm like, he said, for ya. Check it out on the website.
For those that don't know, I do the music news on Radio 104.5.
104.5.
And it runs every morning at like 9, 10 a.m.
Plug your blog
Yeah,
on
you can
there.
check it out, radio1045.com. There's a page that says Off the Air /Steven. Check that out. It's all music news. Alternative rock mainly, but good stuff. I
So
usually
why
try
don't
and
you
post
have like
some
a music
interesting things.
podcast?
I don't have time, to be honest. I want to do a lot of things with them. I want to do more like
Well, not with them. Do it yourself. You don't need their permission.
Yeah, I
always thought that
I
they
don't
should
have time.
have a podcast. I mean, it's extra things that they can get a sponsor for, and
Yeah.
because anybody around the world can tune into Radio 104.5.
Yeah.
They can just download the iHeartRadio app, which
Yep.
is what I wake up to. I set it in the morning and I play it, and then I hate it because they play like Green Day in the morning, and then they play all the other bands I don't want to listen to, and then they repeat the same music. I got to tell your manager that. I'm sure you already knew
Anyway,
that.
so I don't get fired. We're going to continue on.
But I listen to this station. It's my go-to choice.
Good. That's good to hear.
As hi, Stacy. Hey, Stacy.
But yeah, more rumors for you. There's a new rumor that Canon might be jumping into the medium format game, apparently. Northlight Images says that Canon has been, or they're reporting that they've been investigating significantly in a major European medium format digital camera manufacturer, which they're saying is phase one, but again, rumor. This apparently is due to a shrinking demand for compact cameras, and Northlight goes on to say that at the moment, there is no talk of an outright purchase, but it remains an option. So we'll see if that happens. Canon would be, I think, a pretty good competitor for phase one or whoever else as far as medium format goes.
When they say shrinking compact camera market,
Yeah.
how about the soon-to-be non-existent compact camera market with iPhones, Android phones, and that stupid Nokia 41 megapixel phone?
41
Did
megapixel.
you see the commercials for that thing? They're like,
It's clearer.
It's clearer because, like, with our new zoom, first off, I don't think the lens actually zooms. I haven't read the specs. They crop.
I was gonna
That
say,
is what they call zooming.
They were showing a cropped image to the point where like they cropped it like 200%
To
and
show
it was
the
still
drummer?
clear. Yeah, to show the drummer.
So it was real clear from the back. Oh, she's in the front row. I'm so jealous.
Suddenly looks like a professional picture taken on a D4 or something.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and in low light.
But on this Canon thing, I think I read something about that where it talked about them looking to buy Hasselblad back in the day.
Oh, yeah?
A little bit. I mean, that would have been a good move. Look, the reason Canon can do stuff like this and Nikon can't is because Canon has a copier division, a digital print division.
Everything
They've
division.
got Canon everything.
The video market, they pretty much have
Canon
control
is
of.
a huge company with lots of money to put behind it. That's a great thing. If they jump into the medium format game, it's a limited market. But if they do something great with it, they can own that market.
Yeah.
That's just the nature of how it is. If they come out with something cool and competitive, I mean, they have that C300, the C500, which I've talked to some of my video guys. They don't like that much, but I've seen a bunch of them, whether it was Ron Howard. Of course, he's going to use that when he was at Made in America. Did they ever turn that documentary into anything?
I don't think so because I haven't, I mean, it's almost a year now.
It's almost a year.
But yeah, I haven't seen anything about it. Remember we were shooting in the,
Yeah, there was this girl.
Ron Howard was in the pit
was
when I
in
was
the-
shooting Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
He was like right next
Well,
to
I
me.
wasn't in the pit during Pearl Jam.
Oh, yeah.
Remember? Yeah.
Pearl Jam's very strict on who, like
No.
how to get a pass and
No.
how to get approved.
No!
Yeah.
I should have been shooting. It shouldn't have been the other guy who was doing the photos for the same people that I was because he rented a camera that he didn't know how to use. And
I remember you saying that.
I was just
yeah.
like, oh, whatever, dude. You're sort of paying me, so if you want to think you're going to get better pictures, by all means.
That was great because Eddie Vedder, the frontman of Pearl Jam, looked at me every second. Like I told one of them tipped me off to saying that it's better to shoot on stage right because he apparently always looks that way. And he looked at my camera almost every other shot. They came out really nice.
Sing some Eddie Vedder. Sing some Sing some. Give me some Pearl Jam song names.
There's
Yellow Ledbetter.
There's a million of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause
everything
I
off
hate 'em
10
all.
pretty much.
Good name.
Their debut album.
Because I don't remember any
An
of them.
elderly woman behind the counter. There's
Sing some.
I'm not gonna sing them.
Give me.
No, I'm not gonna sing
a
them.
Pearl Jam song to sing.
Better Man.
Can't find a better man. That's all I got.
That's pretty much all I got too.
Can't find a better man. My name is Eddie Vedder. Well, it's gonna sound like this.
Yeah. Right.
Shit in my mouth.
I remember when Scott Stapp came out and they were like, "Oh, he's just a copycat of Eddie Vedder."
No, Scott Stapp is so much better.
They had that
just
MTV. What was the one where the clay models would fight against each other? Celebrity Deathmatch.
Yeah.
They had it, Scott Stapp versus.
one, the only way, with arms wide open, under the sunlight, moonlight. Whisper in your ear, tell you everything that you want to hear.
Can you take me higher?
Steven, stop interrupting me.
But as far as you were talking about, like the shrinking compact cameras, all that kind of stuff, that whole market, moving on to something similar to that, and a pretty much confirmed rumor, for the most part, official product photos of Sony's lens camera that we talked about, I think, two Raw Talks ago. The smartphone attachable lens with the built-in sensor, they've leaked online. There's product photos, all that kind of stuff. So it looks like it's official. It actually looks pretty cool too. It clips onto your camera like a belt clip kind of thing. And it will come in two varieties apparently. One called the DSC QX10 and the other DSC QX100. The QX10 will supposedly include the same 20.2 megapixel sensor and Zeiss glass found on Sony's powerful RX100. And the QX100 will apparently be the more affordable one, smaller option, 18 megapixel crop sensor, 10 times optical zoom. Again, these are all rumors still, no official pricing, but it's something that might even shrink the compact camera market even more.
Well, it's Sony's another one of those companies that has a lot of money to spend, and this is it's a commonsensical idea. There is no reason why it couldn't work. That people already have the phone, they already have the brains, they already have powerful tools. We have to see if the camera's going to store the module is going to store the photos, or is the phone going to store the photos? Because then you start to get into storage issues, but will it get uploaded right away? Then are you going to use too much battery? How's it going to work? These are all things we went through the process of trying to create something like this. It just fell off. The key is the software. Does it shoot RAW? Can you transfer those files? All of those different things. But it's going to be pretty cool to see it. I don't know that I would personally buy one, because if I'm going to take around this module that doesn't fit in my pocket on the phone or something, it's still like carrying a camera around.
And it looks to be about, yay big, 2 inches thick kind of thing. So it's not the most convenient thing, but
yeah. Well, hey, 2 inches thick, Steven.
But anyway, in the leaked specs,
problems.
In the leaked specs, apparently. It's going to have the Wi-Fi built in, also built-in memory, so we'll see if that actually happens, because that could be storage, and maybe with the Wi-Fi could be instant uploading, all that kind of stuff. And then speaking again of compact cameras, a new smartwatch hitting the market with an insane 41 megapixel sensor, just like the freaking Nokia, yeah, the new phone. So you can be like James Bond now and have a little 41 megapixel sensor in your smart watch that they're calling.
Exactly what I want.
It's called the Hiatus Crossbow, and it'll have built-in Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, all kinds of stuff. And there's going to be LEDs around it, apparently.
I mean, who wears watches anymore, Steven? Yeah, I know. But you have a weird watch that has all those
it's cool.
LED
it
lights
up.
That one light comes up first and then the other comes up. So let me see. It just said, what, 11:45?
No, it's at 11:59. 12 o'clock.
Stop looking at your iPhone and
I looked at this
know
first.
what it should
I'm
be.
just confirming.
Come on. Know your clock.
But there's going to be LEDs around the actual lens on there, so it's going to be like a ring flash kind of thing.
Next one. I don't like this story. Sorry.
Looks interesting.
Yeah.
$1,200, by the way.
You can check out $1,200.
$1,200.
You could have
I'd rather buy
a D7100,
a 70D or something. Yeah.
But don't forget that you can check out all of these stories in full detail over at froknowsphoto.com/podcast. Just look for Raw Talk episode number 48, and all those news stories are there.
The hipster kids will love this. Andy Warhol's personal 1986 SX70 Polaroid camera is now for sale on eBay for $50,000.
You were out of focus the whole time.
It was last year. Was I really?
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Steven was out of focus for all of you guys going to be watching it. The
awesome.
first 18 minutes
Who
of
set
Steven.
that camera, Jared?
Well, I set the camera and you were in focus. And then
I didn't move.
Then I had you come back You check the camera. You got to go reset my camera, by the way.
I'll reset it.
You checked the camera, and you're like, oh, nothing should change. But I thought I locked it in. Oh, well. It is what it is. Just put up an annotation for those people watching at home.
Is it like just terribly out of focus?
It's blurry. Yeah, because I think it's focused on the background.
That sucks.
Hey, things
anyway,
happen.
for those seeing me in clear HD now.
Now he's in full HD. Let me make sure it's recording, though.
All right. But yeah, for $50,000, it's now on sale on eBay, which is a pretty big price tag. It was last used at the Limelight nightclub, apparently, in Manhattan in 1986, right the year before he died, Warhol himself. And he gave it as a gift to his friend, Bear Jones.
Now Bear Jones is selling it?
Now Bear Jones is selling it,
Screw
apparently.
Bear Jones.
Yeah.
Keep that thing.
$50,000.
Donate it to a museum.
Well, there is an Andy Warhol museum that has pretty much everything he had except this actual Polaroid camera. Now, he only had it for a year, so I don't know how much he actually used it. But,
who did? Andy?
Andy.
Right.
So we'll see if anything actually comes to it. Next up, a company called Captured Dimensions. This is really cool. Is creating 3D printed images via 3D selfies, pretty much. So photographer Jordan Williams, he put together a 360-degree studio that's outfitted with 60 DSLRs, all with remote triggers. Basically, what he's doing is they capture the subject from every angle, making a 360-degree image, a 3D image, and they print that. And they can print whatever you want.
But what do they print it on?
Well, they're printing it via a 3D printer, so plastic or whatever is.
So basically, they're turning you into an action figure.
Exactly. You can make whatever you want, but what's big now with his company is that people are wanting custom wedding cake toppers. So them too, 3D printed, yay big on the top of the cake. And there's also sculptures, again, action figures, like you said.
That's interesting.
But it costs a lot. It costs around $445 to $2,295, and it takes about 30 minutes to actually do for the sitting.
Right.
I don't know if there's an extra wait for it to be actually printed. I'm sure there is. But
well, yeah, there is.
It's a cool idea.
Take hours.
I mean, it's a really interesting thing.
Well,
the studio looks crazy, too. You can check it out on the website.
MakerBot is releasing their, MakerBot? They're a 3D printer. They're kind of like the Apple, quote unquote, of 3D printing. They got acquired and whatever. They got a lot of money. But they have coming out a 3D scanner to go along with their MakerBot Replicator 2. So you put an object on it. So I put this glass or I put this lens on it. It's going to scan it in 3 dimensions, and then it's going to go ahead and print it.
I wonder how big, what the limit is for that.
Well, it didn't look like it was huge, but it's probably something that maybe less than 8 or 10 inches high. It's going to be interesting.
I was going to say, if they make like a life-size version, this guy's going to be out of business pretty soon. He's going to have a lot of DSLRs just hanging around.
I don't think that is a viable business, but whatever.
Apparently, he's been supposedly he's been getting a lot of business again from people doing weddings. So
sure,
it's in Texas somewhere. And if you're into gaming,
bigger in Texas.
Yeah, if you're into gaming, you can now use your Canon 7D to enjoy your hobby. Magic Lantern released a stripped-down version of the '80s Brick Breaker game, or Pong, called Arkanoid for their 7D firmware.
Steven, what's Arkanoid?
It's the Brick Breaker game.
Have you ever played Arkanoid?
No.
You know I have Arkanoid 2, Return of Doe, sitting right over there.
Is that the one you have? Version. I've never used it. It's never on.
Well, if you want to play it, that's my cocktail version table of Arkanoid 2, Return of Doe. And Arkanoid 2 is better than Arkanoid 1. The original is great for Nintendo.
Yeah.
They actually had a peripheral that you plugged in that had the knob turner and a button.
That's actually what they do for this one. They use the 7D's joystick to maneuver
Well, it's
the
not.
ship.
See, it wasn't a joystick. It's a knob that turns.
So you just go back and forth.
Well,
kind of
yeah,
thing?
you move the brick that way, and then there's the fire button for when you get a fire, when you get the laser, and then to release the ball. Arkanoid 2 is a great game. I have it over there.
I think didn't they have that on the? No, they had Pong on the original like iPod and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Remember
that
they had like
Pong
the
and
games
Snake.
built in.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Anyway, Steven, for the first angle, you'll just put up an annotation that stays there that says it's out of focus when you come up.
Sounds good.
Just so that, because people will comment no matter what.
Oh, they will.
Your camera's out of focus. No shit.
And then they're gonna get to this point and be like, I shouldn't have commented.
Well, no. No, they won't. They'll still comment even twice as hard. when you make a mistake, you go, "Oh, I made a mistake."
You own up.
We made it. It's my job to do the focus on this. Usually, I check it before, but I said, "Should I check it?" And we're like, "No," and we didn't do it that time. I don't know why. Somehow it shifted.
Oh, well.
It shifted between the test and the whatever.
It's all good.
Yeah. Baby. It's all good, baby. It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. Heavy D and something by the something.
Salt and pepper.
But also 52-inch TV playing Sega Genesis. How could I miss?
Rest
Big
in peace.
Papa.
Now, if people want to actually do that Magic Lantern, though,
Yeah.
the developer who designed it took it already off his repository, and so people can't download it anymore. So if you got it last week, you can still play it, but you can't do it now. You can't download it, at least, unless someone puts it up. Moving on, final news stories of the day, or the week. The MLB and NFL have upgraded their replay methods. This is really cool, with bullet time camera technology, like that Matrix kind of angle.
Are they
going
doing it
on.
at every NFL game?
They're going to try to implement it in every NFL game.
They
but
should.
Right now,
They have the money for it.
Exactly. Right now, I don't think they have it on any actual NFL stadiums. They have it on the Yankee Stadium in New York. That's the only one they have so far.
It's incredibly freaking awesome.
Looks
Check out
really
the video over on the site. You have the one from Yankee Stadium. They just run it where it's like the batter's up, and you see from like you're in outfield up in the bleachers, like all the way in the back, and then it zooms in, rotates to the front. The guy hits the ball, it rotates around the back. It is incredible. Or it freezes right before he hits, and you can check every angle.
Yep.
That for the NFL is going to be great. I would love to see it for hockey. It's going to be incredible to put these things together.
And if you can't, like, if there's a replay, say, camera where they can't see the ball or something, they can just rotate
it around.
It's like that Matrix where they're fighting and then it's just literally turning around.
It's very similar, like they said, to Hawkeye, which is at the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
That's how they do instant replay to see if they missed the line or got it right. And so the Hawkeye spins around. They use the same technology. I'll be going to the U.S. Open this year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
But they're calling it 3D. It's called Free Dimensional Video. 3D. Kind of like 3D, obviously.
Okay.
It plays back anything that happened in the game in 3D. And right now, again, it's currently only installed in New York Stadium. The league is slowly rolling it out in the future.
That's Yankee Stadium.
This is Yankee Stadium. Didn't I say that?
You said New York Stadium.
Oh, New York Yankee Stadium is what I mean. So hopefully it'll hit up Philly sometime. We'll have some from the Phillies or whatever, or wherever you guys are from.
Yeah.
We'll see it. I think they were saying NBC is going to have in an upcoming NFL game, like the September 8th game.
Sure.
They're going to have...
That should be great.
Yeah. So hopefully soon it'll be everywhere.
What else?
That is it for the news this week.
I have a gift.
You have a gift? Another gift?
Well, it's nothing major. I haven't replaced your other gift yet. Here, have a red strap.
Oh, nice.
Steven didn't get one. I only had a couple left over because we did sell out.
I didn't even know you had any here.
I didn't. I got it from my house, my dad's house, from the shipping department.
It'll go with my beautiful black and red Canon gear that I have.
Yeah, it's going to look good.
It'll look real
people
good.
have been wearing these. We've been getting reports that they're getting around the world now.
That's awesome, dude. Thank you very much. I appreciate
problem.
that.
You needed to get one of those.
Yeah, I haven't upgraded my strap in like 4 years.
Yeah. So anyway, why don't we talk about Nikon and Allen's camera real quick? Nikon Allen's-a-Palooza. That is going to be September 21st. I'm calling it from about 12 to 4. This is a event for anybody can come out. It is sponsored by Nikon at Allen's Camera. Doesn't mean that if you shoot Canon, you can't show up and hang out and try to win some of the prizes, because we're going to have prizes. That's going to be fun. There's going to be a taco truck, and the first, I believe, 200 people are going to get a taco meal. So we give you a ticket when you come in. You take it to the taco truck, and they give you your tacos. The tacos are good because I tested them out, and I'm not a major taco fan, but I started eating them, and they're actually really good. So there's a taco truck. There's going to be a tent so you can hang out with other photographers, talk about gear. There's probably going to be other promotions to trade in gear and buying used gears and discounts and all of the stuff along those lines. So it's going to be Nikon's Allen's-a-Palooza on September 21st from 12 to 4. We're also going to do, you can sign up for like a rapid fire critique if you want to bring in, say, 10 of your best images or a portfolio. I'll give everybody, I believe we're going to do about 2 minutes rapid fire to ask any questions you have, and will be a sign up sheet to do that, and we'll figure that out, because I want to spend time with you guys that come out. I know that Pascal said he may drive in from Montreal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because he wants to go to New York and then he would come down here. But yeah, I'll spend the time. If you got your questions, we'll do the one-on-one thing. I'll try to answer as many as I can before the event is over. But it's free for anybody there. First 200 people are going to get that food, and you must be there to win the contest that we're giving away. You must be present, but we will do that, and I think, you know, there's going to be some good prizes, a couple $1,000s worth of prizes.
That sounds awesome.
So that's Nikon Allen's-a-Palooza, sponsored by Nikon.
Canon doesn't sponsor that? That's weird.
Not this time. No, not Nikon Allen's-a-Palooza. Okay, Steven.
I got to run over to the board.
You're going over to the board.
Kicking me out.
I'll stop your camera. I'm going to stop your camera, Steven. All right, so here we go, guys. I've got a follow-up from the In My Opinion episode. Jackie Blakeney? Blakeney? Is that how we say it? Blakeney. she sent me a second letter that she received from Serban Communications. For those of you who haven't seen it, check out a couple of episodes ago called In My Opinion. There's a photo contest, a legitimate photo contest that these guys are running that, in my opinion, I may not want to enter myself. I'm a professional, but they wouldn't take my entry anyway. So the first time she got a letter, and so many other people got a letter, was to purchase the photo book with her photo in it. And she decided not to purchase it because the top 1%, was it 1%? No, it was 10%. There were 1,600 entries, or sorry, 16,000 entries, and then 1,600 people were picked to be in the finalist group. And all those people were then asked to see if they wanted to purchase a book showing that they were in the book. Well, she chose not to do it, and then she gets a letter that says this. Dear Jackie, Photographers Forum magazine is pleased to inform you that you have won honorable mention in our 33rd annual spring photography contest co-sponsored by Sigma. Congratulations on your superior work. If it was such superior work, and Jackie, I'm not ripping on you, but if it was superior, I love that work. That's like so leading you in. We want you to buy our book because it was superior. If it was superior, it would have won. Right, Stephen?
Touche, touche. Yep.
And Jackie, your work is fantastic. I'm not ripping on you. And plus, this stuff's all subjective anyway when it comes to contests. First place through fourth place photographers will have their winning images exhibited at the Brooks Institute Gallery 27. Well, does that even matter again? That doesn't matter because she's been chosen as honorable mention. So there's another plug for an advertiser. In my opinion, they're an advertiser paying for this, Brooks Institute in Santa Barbara, California, and published in the November-winter 2013 issue of Photographer Forum magazine. In addition, the names of the honorable mentions will be listed in that issue. So there are 100 honorable mentions, if I recall. The winning photographs and those earning honorable mention will be published in the hardcover book Best of Photography 2013. Now, what they left out here in that sentence is that not only will the honorable mentions be printed, so will the finalist groups of the 1,600 photos that were selected. So my question is, will hers be in the first section of the book along with 100 honorable mentions, or is it going to just be split up amongst those 1,600 people? So that's something to keep in mind. If you have not ordered your book/books, please contact our managing editor at extension 240. The publication is scheduled for mailing by the end of December 2013. Prizes for first through fourth place winners will be shipped in mid-October 2013. Once again, congratulations. Sincerely, Glenn R. Serban. So in my opinion, I still wouldn't buy the book. I think now that you're honorable mention, maybe that's a opportunity to purchase the book because you've made it into the top 1%. And I did say that before, that if you were in the 1%, then maybe that would make sense. But I would call this girl on the phone that they say for you to call, and I would ask her, will my photo be seen earlier in the book with all honorable mentions before the finalist groups get seen? That would make sense to me. Everything else in here, it doesn't really give me a lot of information. We've got a sponsor, Sigma. We've got a second sponsor, Brooks Institute, in my opinion. They are sponsors, in my opinion. I keep going back and forth, Stephen. Well, I just want to make sure that I'm saying in my opinion enough. In my opinion, thank you, Jackie, for sending this to me because it's interesting that you got the second letter. I wonder if I think legitimately they sent out 100 of these to the honorable mentions, but it would be interesting to know if they wait for you to send this back, if they don't hear from you, whether you will be in the honorable mention part of the book. I think I may want to pay for the book myself just to see what happens, Jackie. So why don't you contact me? When do we have until? We have until... it actually doesn't give a date. Yeah, of course it doesn't have a date. The first one had a drop-dead date. If you didn't offer to buy it, then it had a drop-dead date. This does not have a date, so it's kind of like saying if you call at any point, we'll probably buy the book. Jackie, maybe we should buy the book, or maybe I should just call them myself to see how it looks. That would be interesting.
That would be.
Actually, what we should do is see if we can buy the book after the deadline. That would be
see if she's in it?
Yeah, to see if she's in the right point, in the right place. You know, because I don't want her to send back. Like, maybe I'll call and be like, I just want to buy this book. Would you honor that? I'm going to do that.
But only if my niece Jackie's in it.
No. I don't want her to buy. I want to just personally buy it, and I don't want her to buy it because I want to see if her not sending it in gets her into the honorable mention part or in the other part.
No, I know. I was saying, what if you were to call up and be like, I would only buy it if she was in it. Is she in it? Just tell me now. And then maybe they'll tell you over the phone
I'm going to call and get this book, Steven.
instead of paying for it.
Can you remind me to call and get this book?
Sure.
All right. So then we have another thing that came up, and this kind of goes back to the last two episodes, 47 part 1 and 47 part 2, about concert photography that went on for 2 hours. One of the readers wants to remain nameless, sent me a contract to go photograph an artist, quote unquote, for those of you who can't see me air quoting, an artist, a musician who plays guitar. And he doesn't want me telling you what the artist's name is. He doesn't want me to tell you what the management company's name is, which is fine. But he asked me, should I sign this contract and photograph this person? One, the people that asked me to go are not paying me, so I'd be doing it for nothing, so on and so forth. Let's read this to you. Actually, this is what he told me. Hi, Jared. Thought that I would run this by you quickly as you are familiar with shooting artists at gigs, etc. Here are the management conditions for photography at the show. Terms of use. Photographs may only be taken during the first 3 songs with no flash. Video may only be shot for the first 90 seconds of the first song.
Understandable.
That stuff's normal. What?
Understandable.
Yeah, that stuff's normal. So, okay, no big deal. Blank management must approve. This is number 2. Blank management must approve photos prior to their reproduction or display anywhere. You lost me right there, my friends. Must approve photos prior to their reproduction or display. Now that's a little misleading. Does that mean that I can't publish it somewhere? Like, most of these that Steve and I get when we sign say, this is for so-and-so publication. It may have said it in the contract that it will only run here, but
nowhere else, and that's understandable.
Following approval for a photo, we'll get back to that. But management must approve photos. Who the hell do you think you are? Who the hell do you think you are? This is not 1988.
Yeah.
This isn't Guns N' Roses. That, as Bob Gruen told us, that he would shoot Guns N' Roses. They would take the film and process it for you and send you back one frame that you can use for publication. This isn't 1998. Why are you trying to stifle the images that get out there? What are you worried about? That is a bunch of horse crap, horse manure. I hate manure. What movie, Steven?
Back to the Future?
Which one?
1
and
2
and 3. I think it's in all of them. It's probably in all of it because I know that he runs into the manure truck in 1.
And then,
And then 2, when he's chasing Marty McFly.
And 3 is when he's in the Old West and doesn't...
Well, I'll get to that in a second. 2 is when he's chasing Marty, and Marty then flies the DeLorean and into the lightning storm, and they crash the car, and it fills up with manure again. And then 3 is when Biff Tannen gets beat up and lands into manure and goes, I hate manure.
Yeah, it is in all of them. That's crazy. I didn't even realize that.
I think it's all of them.
Yeah, it is.
All right, number 3, following approval for PhotoPass, blank management photos may only be used in the manner described above. Well, the manner described above means that they have to check them first. Blank management is entitled to reproduction rights for publicity and non-commercial purposes of all pictures and video taken of its artists.
Now, they did say for non-commercial purposes.
It does say non-commercial, but number 5, should blank management desire to reproduce any photo taken by the photographer, videographer, or organization named herein, a negative or video must be supplied to blank within 2 weeks of request and free of charge.
Huh.
I agree to the terms above in exchange for photographer's credentials to the performance detailed above. Does that all sound okay with you? ? To me, it seems that I can't use the photos for future self-promotions, etc. Is this the usual case? Well, absolutely not. This is not the usual case. And what is this from? 1988 that it still says negatives? Okay, sorry, I didn't shoot any negatives, so I guess I can't. Levels? Levels? How are the levels, Steven?
You're good.
So I can't deliver. I can't deliver you a negative. Do you want me to print my digital file on negative? Should I send it by snail mail? Should I mail it to you, or should I email it to you so that you have it 2 seconds after I send it? This is a bunch of crap. I told him not to shoot. I said, don't go shoot this. One, you're not getting paid. If you're getting paid and it's for a publication and you're making some money, who gives a crap? It's not in my opinion, not that I've said the artist, in my opinion, nobody's going to give a crap about a photo of this guy.
Well, I was going to say, this guy must be pretty big if he has something like this. But going back to what me and you have shot before in the past, we've shot some pretty, A-list artists and never had that issue. We've had the issue where, you can only publish on this website or something like that.
Right.
That's fine, normal forms. I think Lady Gaga had that copyright thing where she owned the rights to it, but that was it.
She owned the rights.
Yeah, something ridiculous like that. But
speaking of Lady Gaga, Steven.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Somebody sent me a picture. I guess she's doing a video where she's naked or something along those lines.
I guess. I don't know.
Did you look at that photo, Steven?
I looked at the photo. Yes, I did.
I looked at it too. So there's Lady Gaga's naked, showing her Lady Gaga's.
Her lady parts.
They're there. For anybody that wants to look, I'm sure you can find it because it's probably all over the internet. They look pretty good.
It's called Google.
Yeah. Look pretty good. Anyway, this artist that is in question isn't a major artist. I don't think that most people today would have any clue who the hell he really is. You didn't really know who he was. We read his Wikipedia. He really hasn't done very much. I'm not going to say anymore because I'll give it away.
That's what that's what's crazy about it, is that someone like him has a crazy form to form like that.
Here, let's just say this. It may not be him. It may be his management.
That's true.
Management is still living in 1988, asking you for the negatives and to approve the photo. My answer to that is go bleep yourself.
Yeah.
That's all I have. Steven, how far in are we?
We are 37 minutes in.
I almost forgot the new segment.
Oh, yeah.
I almost jumped into Flying Solo. Well, we have a new segment here. It's a piece of gear this week sitting on the table. This is the Sigma 18-35 f1.8. This is for the Canon mount. This is a cropped sensor lens only. It is not for full frame. It is only an 18-35, which to me is a very limiting zoom range. Now, the point of the lens is that they say it is a 1.8, so it's supposed to allow you to have more light in, but let me remind you people that just because you have the capability of shooting 1.8 does not mean that you should shoot at 1.8, because 1.8 is almost impossible to get something in focus. Even if something moves, it's out of focus. It's just not in focus. It's a very difficult thing to do. I will say that this lens feels great. It's built very, very well by Sigma. It's too small of a range, in my opinion. I'm going to be doing a full-on review. I put up a sample image of a piece of sushi shot at f1.8, being held between chopsticks. You can download the full res file. It's up on the website. Steven, can you put it down below in your news portion for me? Just on that page. People can check it out. But I've been shooting this with a Canon T3i. One of my issues with the lens is, you have to use this lens on a crop sensor. And the T3i is a okay camera, but I'm having trouble with focus. Even in single focus, I am missing. It's Steven Sutter's camera. He's letting me borrow it. It's his old backup. And I went and did a 5-minute portrait that I'm not sure if I'm going to put up because I miss focus so much with it. And it's not just at 1.8. And I can't blame the lens, because I'd love to throw it on a 1DX or a D4 or a 5D Mark III, or a D7100 would be great to put it on if I had that, or if I had a 7D, like the higher end. It to me, and I'm kind of giving like the review here. I feel that this lens would be the best purchased on a higher end crop sensor camera. Better focusing systems, more accurate than, say, a T3i, more accurate than a T4 or a T5i. Some camera like a 70D or a 7D would be the only places I would probably throw this lens. But again, do you want to spend $800 on a range of 18-35? It is, and for those people out there who think it's a replacement to the 51.8, well, it's not a replacement to a 51.8. Because it's not a 50mm lens, for God's sake. I've seen that a bunch of times. And I'm not going to rip on this Twitter user because I probably know who they are when I talk about them. I'm not ripping on them, but we had like this Twitter conversation back and forth. It went like 10 tweets where he's like, I have the 17-40, but it's full frame and it's not as wide as the 18-35 Sigma on my crop sensor because it's a full frame lens. And I was just like, no, 17 is wider than 18.
This is the Canon EF 17-40,
yes.
I'm assuming he's talking about the F4?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's wider. The lenses are given in the focal range that you have to multiply them by 1.6 on Canon and 1.5 on Nikon.
I was gonna say, and that's a full frame lens, the 17-40.
Yes, it's full frame, but it's still wider on a crop sensor camera than the 18-35.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
All right, I'll put this lens to rest. So I'll be doing a full review of it. I mean, it feels fantastic, but the crux of the review, is it going to be worth spending $800 on a very limiting lens like this? That is to be determined, Stephen.
Sounds good.
Are we ready to fly solo? Are we?
I guess.
How's the clock doing over here?
You're going to be doing it.
How are we doing on this
We're doing
camera?
good. We're 40 minutes in, and we're still doing good on the cameras.
I don't want it to reset because we already had you out of focus.
All right, we got about another 2 minutes till we have to reset.
Okay, so we're going to fly solo. I wish I had theme music for every section. If you have theme music, please send it to Stephen, STEPHEN, at fronosphoto.com. Any music for the show that you'd think we would like to use for something, just send it to us. Ryan Baker. Hi, Jared. Just curious why you have the so-called, quote-unquote, best portrait lens, a.k.a. Cream Machine. That's not my nickname. Nikon 85 1.4, and yet I've never seen you pull it out in one of your 5-minute portrait sessions. Steven, do you know why I don't pull out the 85 1.4?
I don't.
Because I don't own it.
Oh, I was going to say, do you own it?
I sold the 85. I've never seen you have
it.
What?
I said, I've never seen you have it.
Well, it's because I sold it to Leora. I sold the 85 1.4 to Leora because I do not use the primes very often. What I used the prime for a lot was to shoot videos in my backyard back in the day. But I didn't find myself using the 85 1.4. So that is why I have not used it, because I don't have it any longer. Michael Rayburn, my question is about you, Jared. How are you doing? Question mark. We all try to suck your brain dry without any consideration to your feelings. I'm sad now. So today I'm asking about how your day went. Well, Stephen, Michael Rayburn, let me tell you about my day. Well, thank you first off for asking me how I'm doing, because no, not a lot of people do ask that.
That was a nice question.
Yeah, it is a good question, because a lot of people don't realize that we do put a ton of time into everything that we do here.
Oh, yeah.
Meg will tell you that my brain is focused on work a lot of the time. She knows that, but it is what it is. I run my own business, and in order to run your own business, you have to be you have to be on almost all the time. Not all the time, but it's good to be. You have to be on top. It's not a 9-to-5 job. It's not limited to 40 hours a week. It's however many hours it takes to get the job done is how many hours you put into it. So I do a lot of that stuff. How did my day go today? I woke up at 7:19 a.m. and I drove to the gym and had a training session with my trainer, and then I drove back here to meet with Steven so that we could record this week's Raw Talk. A general day for me is getting up in the morning, sitting at the computer, getting the work done for the day that needs to go onto the site, answering fan questions, emails, interacting on Twitter, interacting on Facebook, and then there's shooting. They're shooting. We make videos. Steven comes in. We shoot a bunch of videos in a day. He goes home and edits them. We spread them out so that we can have enough in the can so that it kind of makes it easier to go forward. That's something that people need to understand and need to realize when you do something. It's about being smart. It's not about working harder all the time. It's about working smarter, but harder and smarter together is even better. So if you can create a bunch of content in one day, I've put over 1,300 videos out. That still averages over one video a day for over 3 years at this point. So we're still cranking them out. It's about doing things smart, coming up with a schedule and getting on. I'm sure people are tired of hearing me talk about that.
Well, and what we usually do, just to add on to that, is we usually, like you said, bang it all out in like one day, like 5-6 videos, and then take a couple days to edit them all. But at least we have all that just working one day. And then you can focus on other stuff and I can focus on editing. You know, I'm not here every single day kind of thing.
Yeah. The last time, I think we've done 4 or 5 videos once. Generally, on a day like today is what, Thursday?
Yes.
We like to record Raw Talks on Wednesdays, but it's not Wednesday. It's Thursday because that's just how it fell. We record a Raw Talk followed by recording Steven's News. We plan on shooting another video, and we plan on recording a review to the Zoom H6. So we've got things scheduled out that we want to record. Steven will spend a couple days at home editing. Then we'll come back. We'll make more content. It's just that's how we run this machine.
Yeah.
That's one way of doing it. All right. Nicholas Vanderwall. What screen brightness do you keep your iMac on when editing photos? I personally have my 27-inch iMac down with 3 empty squares, so I would call that like 80%. You don't want it on full brightness, in my opinion, so I have it down just a little bit where I think it looks right. John Calvert, how do you tell someone they are not ready to be in the photo business? Hi, I don't think you're ready to be in the photo business. You gotta, if somebody isn't ready, I mean, why is it your job to tell them they're not ready to be in the photo business? There's plenty of room for everybody. If they're getting, the easiest way for somebody to realize that they're not ready for the photo business is to not make any money in the photo business, if that's your goal. So they'll figure it out pretty quick that it's not for them if they're not making any money. But if you need to tell somebody, you'd be like, you know, I don't think you should leave your full-time job until you're established as a photographer. I think it's a great secondary income to pick up some photo shoots. You can still be a professional photographer and run a business and have a full-time job. That's just running your life smartly. Don't leave a full-time job unless you are capable of sustaining yourself without that full-time job. Right, Steven?
Yep. I kind of do that, where as far as like shooting on the side, like I have 2 jobs that are both part-time, which equals out to pretty much 1 full-time job. And what I do is I'll take shoots on the side every now and then, like the wedding I did or the baby shoot or whatever it may be. I'm doing a band shoot next month, for example, just stuff like that. Like I just don't have time to be a full-on photographer just yet.
Or you may not have the jobs to be a full-time photographer.
That too. Yeah, I don't think I would have the jobs right now, just because. Well, I also don't try to get the jobs, but yeah. But
it's still a very stressful thing to do that. So if you have the ability to have these other jobs, I mean, we're pretty flexible in our working environment, right?
Yeah.
Pretty damn flexible. I don't rarely ask what you're doing because I kind of know what you're working on.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really second guess any of the things you tell me.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to, because you'll get the stuff done.
Yep.
FCO Garcia, is that first class officer? Is that a military thing? FCO?
Probably.
I don't know very much about the military. What are your conditions, ambient light, monitor / music, question, etc., in the room you use to edit your raw shots on Lightroom? So that's a good question. The lighting in the environment can affect how you edit your images. I don't have anything special set up. I think the ideal situation, and this is going back to when I worked at this place called Carl Wolf. No, it wasn't Carl Wolf. It was Devore Photo. They were one of those yearbook magazines, and they had somebody that would print the negatives, and they would make more money to print the negatives because if they got the color correction right, they didn't have to reprint stuff. So the better at color correction you were, the more money that they paid you, type of thing. So I sat at that machine, and what they had in the room was a daylight bulb set to daylight. It was a dark room, but there was a daylight bulb to keep your eyes balanced properly. So I think that's what a lot of people do. I don't do that. Sometimes I turn on one of my fluorescent lights that's daylight bulb, and that balances the light, so I'm not just sitting in the dark editing. And I also keep my blinds closed so that the sun doesn't come in. It just comes in a little bit, but it doesn't overpower the situation. Juan Loomis. Is it a good idea to advertise special midsummer or holiday prices on Facebook? I've seen some posts going as low as $50 for a half an hour mini session. My answer here is, well, thank you, he says. Show your work, not your prices. Let people know that you do this, you take jobs, make them contact you, make them take the first step. If you tell somebody that it's $50, well, that's freaking cheap. I may not want to work with you, but if you do great work and say, by the way, I am booking sessions now, I've got some specials running, contact me for details. Then they've at least taken initiative to contact you. Then it's your job to close after that. If they're not interested because they think you're too expensive, then so be it. It is what it is. Sound good, Steven?
Sounds good.
I'm not a fan, like, advertise, whatever. Facebook is, just because you have it doesn't mean it should be advertising everything. And I do sell things on my Facebook, but I'm not pushing sales 98% of the time. 98% of the time, it's content driven. It's content and interaction. So if you just interact, I mean, that's still my answer for everything Facebook is interaction.
And it seems to work.
Yep. Willie Moose. Is it bad is it a bad thing to use your flash during live performances that have bad lighting or even red lighting? First off, what is this issue with red lighting?
I hate red lighting.
Yeah, but
I'm assuming he's a Canon guy because Canon represents red the worst.
Yeah, I get that, but red light, when you convert it to black and white, looks freaking awesome.
That's true. Touche.
Because, yeah, look, if you're shooting in bright-ass red light, convert it to black and white. You don't have anything to worry about. Should you use a flash? Absolutely not.
Usually you can't.
Well, usually you can't. We see that guy over at the 1045 events. He keeps using the flash outdoors. He uses it. You know which guy I'm talking about?
I don't, actually.
The guy with the hair slicked back.
I got nothing. I'm sure if I saw him, I'd
you'd know who it
him.
is. But you're not really supposed to use flash. It's not the best thing in the world to do unless you are in with the artists. And I said this, recap this in 47 part 1 and 47 part 2, that unless you're in with the artists and you set up flashes in different areas, but when you're shooting flash on camera, that's distracting and annoying to an artist. Sean Blackburn, Mac or Windows-based laptop for photo editing, and explain why you would choose a system that you would. Well, personally, I use a MacBook Pro 13-inch for traveling. I just like the laptops, and they're not even that much more expensive than PCs at this point.
Yes, they are.
Seem to.
Yes, they are.
You can pick one up for like $999,
and you can double the specs for the same on a PC. I'm a PC guy, obviously, guys.
Yeah, and you can also buy a $299 laptop that's going to just disintegrate in a matter of months.
Saying I can get a $1,000 PC laptop with double the specs, double the RAM, double the processor.
And you're still running Windows 8.
Yeah, so?
Yeah. I don't give a crap what people use. I don't care what anybody uses. If you can't afford to spend the money on the Mac, there's no right or wrong answer to this. I used both. I had a built PC tower for the longest time until I bought the iMac 27-inch because I felt that was the best for me, for what I was doing. If you're just starting out and you can't really afford it, there are $600 laptops that are not bad. They are not bad. There is no right or wrong thing here. I personally use the MacBook Pro. Justin Norton, if you could only bring one lens to shoot a wedding, what would it be? Steven.
51-2.
That is what you would shoot a wedding with. You had to shoot the entire wedding yourself.
No, actually, you're right. Yeah. Either a 70-200, 2.8L, or
no, that's your choice.
51-2. I think 51-2. I don't know.
You have to shoot group shots. You have to shoot wide angles of the church. You have to shoot party shots. You have to shoot
24-70. I guess
24-70 is the option, in my opinion.
Well, it's your go-to lens. If you only need one lens, that's your go-to for everything.
If you could only use one lens. Now, if there was a 20, they have a 24 to
105,
and Nikon has a 24 to 120 f4. That could be an option. That really could be a 24 to 120 f4. But I don't own one of those, so I would say 24 to 70 2.8.
Yeah, if it was an outside ceremony, I'd probably do 24 to 105 f4. Inside, or depending on lighting, I'd probably do 24 to 70 2.8.
Andrew Solano. Hey, Jared, my question is, when you're doing work for a large company, how do you go about pricing when your work is going to be used for promotional purposes? My answer to that is I make it up. I go with my gut. I come up with a price that I want to get paid that I think is reasonable for what they are asking. If somebody's like, hey, we want to have worldwide usage rights forever. If you're working with reputable companies that deal with this all the time, they know what they're supposed to spend. They're going to give you an idea of what is normal. You know, a lot of times it's go, what do you have? Not what do you have, but what is in your budget?
Yeah.
What are you looking to spend? Because then I can work with you. You can give them a number, but always look for something to come back. So realistic numbers. So
and don't start too low.
And well, definitely don't start too low, but don't price yourself out. Like if it's we want to use this shot and run it on our website, don't come back and be like $5,000 for one shot for one time. That's not going to happen. So just realistic and go with what you think feels right and what you'd be happy with.
Yeah.
Kevin Nietzsche, what lens did you end up getting Steven for his birthday?
Yeah.
That hasn't happened yet. And it's not just for his birthday. It's for like a bonus for this year. It's like a bonus for every year.
For the next 10 years.
It's like the next 12 years because it's going to be expensive. I have to go pick something up. Still need to do that at Allen's.
That would be lovely.
Jeremiah Jones. Do you ever get the chance to go out and take pictures just for the fun of it anymore? I can take fun pictures anytime I want. I just choose not to.
I was going to say, yeah, I find myself not doing that very often. It's more that I don't have time kind of thing.
Everybody has time. Stop this time excuse bullshit.
Yeah, I don't. I don't have time.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Then tell your girlfriend you can't be out with her anymore.
Nope. That free time is going to her.
Oh, it is?
Yep.
Why?
Because I want to be with her.
And
that's about it.
All right.
I'd rather do that than sit by myself.
Is Nicole listening to this right now?
Probably not.
Oh, you just missed out on some lovey.
Maybe I'll tell her to tune in.
Tell her to tune in
episode
right at
48 at
52 minutes.
56 minutes.
56 minutes. All right. Yeah, I don't really shoot that much. I take a camera every once in a while around, but honestly, I'd rather take like an Instagram photo and not worry about. I don't really take my camera around unless I'm on a shoot.
Me too, though. Exactly what you said. I'd rather do like an Instagram quick photo that I have in my pocket versus carrying my DSLR around.
The last time I shot for fun, it started off for fun. It was when I went and tested out the 24-70 that I just got back from Nikon, and I went and I shot Be Real of Insane in the Membrane. Insane in the brain. Insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain. Insane in the membrane. Got no brain. Something insane. Wah. Born brown like frying pan like spam. Man, dressing pan. That's what he sounded like. Anyway, that was fun, and I took like 3 songs and then I left. That was a 311 night. I didn't choose to stay and shoot 311.
Yeah, I was on the stage right after Cypress Hill got off.
William Landry. Any plans to return to Europe in the near future to host a few boot camps and Frodo walks? No plans currently, but we'd like to get back there. That would be fun. Ryan Jameson. In your opinion, thank you, do you think it is now necessary to watermark full res files on Flickr, or is it still a waste of time? It's a waste of time. Steven does watermarks.
I do.
On his pictures. I get it. It's not a bit. His watermark isn't terribly too much in the way. I stopped kind of doing the watermarks. I mean, on Flickr, if you're worried about it, there's a button that says copywritten image, and people aren't supposed to take it.
It's called Creative Commons.
You know, and then what I've been doing lately is clicking the one below it. The one that says share alike.
That's what I do.
Creative Commons. Use it, but not for commercial use. So if somebody wants to use it, then they're going to grab it. They're supposed to credit me. And if they don't, oh well, they don't.
Actually, it's funny that we bring that up too, because today I posted something on the Radio 145 music blog that I do, and it was about Ryan from Yellow Card posting something, but I didn't have a picture of him, and we didn't have anything as far as Getty images go. I didn't have the login at the time, so I grabbed something from Flickr, which was a tribute-only kind of thing, like no commercial, that kind of stuff. So I used that and attributed to that photographer, and it worked out. So it happens. It happens a lot. Tumblr, blogs, all that stuff.
Yeah, well, Tumblr, people just take everything. What is that Yellow Card song that was their only hit?
Ocean Avenue.
There's a place down on Ocean Avenue.
They had a few. Nah, I guess that was pretty much the only big one.
Sten Nisen. Nijssen. What was that, Steven?
My foot.
Oh. How come when I set a certain white balance temperature in my camera, for example, 5500K, and open the raw file in Lightroom, it shows a different color temperature value as shot and not 5500? It should still technically retain the white balance information that you set it to. If you set it to 5500, it should be doing that.
Yeah, that's weird. He's saying in Lightroom, like it comes up as a different...
Yeah, he's saying it's coming up as something else. Maybe you have a preset set for when you import something.
Yeah, develop settings.
It's off. Yeah, there are those develop settings, but I don't, when I bring, if we set it to 5500, that image is going to be 5500.
Yeah, I've never had an issue with that. I mean, I have certain custom develop settings for certain lighting conditions, so I have that set for a custom white balance, but that's the only time it switches the white balance on me.
I have that many more questions to do.
We're about an hour in.
Holy Jesus. Rapid fire. Give me 15 minutes on the clock.
15 minutes starting meow.
Patrick John... Meow. Do you know why I pulled you over, right, Meow? What movie?
Super Troopers.
Super Troopers. Now that is a hilarious movie.
That is a...
Patrick John said, who wants a mustache ride? Oh, me too. Patrick John Stuckabury. What part of the camera do you attach your Black Rapid to? Lens or body? That's a good question. I primarily attach it to the body. The only time that I will attach it to the lens of the 70 to 200 is if I know I'm not going to be switching lenses, because if I switch lenses, I have to unclip the carabiner from the lens, or the lens isn't going to come off the well, it's going to come off the camera, but it's still going to be attached to me. It creates an extra step. So most of the time I have it in the camera, and there's not much to worry about. I don't like run around and not hold the camera. If I am running or walking, the camera is still being held by me. I don't want it bouncing off my butt.
Besides when you do a spinning video.
Like quarters. Right. Well, except for when I do a spinning video. And we need to do some more intro videos, Steven.
Yes.
We need to do the discreet, the indiscreet or the undetermined package is here. It's Postman Fro with another indiscreet package for you. You know, what is in the box?
So it's not like, I have a package from Sigma.
Sigma. Well, I like that. I know you ate it. I like it. Anthony Pena. I know there's the beginner guide and soon to be flash guide. Are you planning on making more guides? Because I love the beginner's guide, and will you have a boot camp around New Jersey next year? Well, we've scheduled boot camps in New York, and they didn't sell very well, so we canceled them twice. Yes, I plan on doing other video guides. One day I would like to get to do the concert, the Frono's Photo concert guide, which I know probably won't move a lot of units because it's a niche thing, but I would still love to create it, and I may go ahead and create a wedding guide. Keep in mind, these more specific ones will probably be more expensive because they are for a smaller market.
Yeah, a wedding guide would be definitely something I think a lot of people would be interested in.
Yeah, I'm thinking of I've been thinking of that one for a couple of years, and I have the whole plan in my head. It's going to be, I'm going to rent a bride and a groom and a bridal party and a church.
Do a full-on wedding.
Yeah, I'm going to pretty much schedule a full-on wedding and do the cake and do all that stuff. Do phone calls at the beginning and emails and talk about contracts. That's the stuff. It's more of the business side.
You should do a fake meeting or something, or
well,
actual
I'm
real
do actual
meeting.
meetings.
Real
I'm
meeting,
gonna,
yeah.
I'm going to do actual meetings. I may even
take on a wedding.
Well, no, I may put out the word for random people, or I may just feed them questions that I normally would get, and that they would try to throw me off or something. But this wedding guide will not be how to take pictures. You should know how to take pictures if you're going to be shooting weddings.
Oh, yeah.
David Stemple. When shooting with two cameras or using two shooters with one camera apiece, and you have memory cards from two different cameras and you upload to Lightroom, how do you in Lightroom 4 sort the photos? Tell Lightroom to put them in time order, not by the generic file name assigned by camera, which puts them in the wrong order. Thanks, and tell Steven I love his photo news.
Thank you, sir.
Well, the answer is,
sync up the cameras?
well, one, you sync up the cameras before you start so that you have the same timestamp in both cameras, and then after you organize them, you list them by time and date. And that way they come up in the order as they were taken. So sometimes if you take a photo at the same exact second, they will actually stack them in Lightroom. That's happened to me before.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yep, because they're shot exactly at the same time.
Huh.
Carl Roca Jr. Fro, I'm interested in street photography, but shy when it comes to getting the shot, especially of beautiful women. And do you ask first or go with the zoom lens? Well, get over your shyness for one. If it's and I saw somebody's comment below was, start with the ugly men. That was kind of funny. Look, I can't tell you what to do here. I think street photography is more of an incognito thing. Yes, longer lenses, in my opinion, to capture things. Some people like going around with the 35 millimeter that's on the on that, what's it called, the Fuji X Pro 1 or the X100S.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know, 50 millimeter lens, 35 millimeter lens, 85, 70 to 200, whatever you can do. But yeah, go talk to the girl. Really, go talk to her. She's pretty. She's waiting for you to come say hi, Carl. Just be like, hi. My name's Carl.
When is that Carl guy ever going to talk to me?
Yeah, that's what she's sitting here. Steven, you play the girl.
That Carl guy, where is he? I've been waiting for him for so long.
Steven.
Yes?
Not Cartman.
I said Carl.
Yeah, but it's like...
That's my Cartman girl voice.
I'll be Carl. I'll be Cartman. Hey, what's your name?
I don't know.
Stephanie.
Hey,
Stephanie. My name is Carl. Can I take your picture?
Oh, sure. Sure, Cartman. Kyle.
Kyle? Can you come here?
Oh, yeah.
I have a van.
I
it's a
can't wait to get
conversion
your
van. It has a bed in the back.
Oh, can I lay on it?
Yeah.
Are you gonna get on? I mean, are you gonna take pictures of me?
Yeah, I'm going to take pictures of you, and then I'm going to take you down to the river.
Oh, that's not weird at all.
Brian Hogan, how exactly do you resize an image in Photoshop for big-ass prints? What should my DPI be, and what should the other settings be? Well, I'm not a big... I don't know everything there is about DPI. I just set it to 300, personally.
Yeah, I do too.
That's what I do. I don't know. That's what I've done forever. But when I grow a print in Photoshop, this is what I do. I export the file full res from Lightroom at its native resolution. Whatever it's going to be by X is what I do. X by X is what I put it into Photoshop as. And then I go to image size. And if it's going to be a 24 by 36, I type in 36 into the one box, and that makes the one size either like 24 point something. It's always a little bit off, but I make sure that it's at least 24 by 36. And if the 36 is 0.12 after it, then it is what it is. That's how I grow it. And I do it at 300 DPI. I don't do the 10% increments. To me, that makes no sense. I don't understand. It's a digital file, whether you do it 10 times at 10% or you do it one time and jump 100%.
It must depend on how Photoshop expands the pixels or something.
Yeah,
depending
and
on
I've
your
never
percentage.
really seen any conclusive evidence that says that you shouldn't do it that way. Caspian Sherrod. Hey, Jared, would you ever like having voice control on your camera? Example, telling the camera the settings instead of dialing them in. No, I don't want to tell. I barely use Siri because I rather just type it into the internet myself. It's
I'm the
quicker.
same way, yeah.
So no, I personally wouldn't want to talk to the camera. But that could help somebody that is blind.
Yeah, definitely.
Eric Lopez, can you recommend a scanner for digitizing old family prints, negatives, and slides? So this is a hard one because all of those things have pretty much been discontinued. Nikon had the Nikon Cool Scans. The problem with them, they were fantastic, is that they were SCSI cables. Nobody has SCSI cards anymore. Nobody uses them. Everything's USB. If they were a USB scanner, they would be fine. So you have options. There are companies out there that will scan your negatives and slides for you. They have larger scale scanners, professional. You got Noritsu machines at all the CVS's, and you've got Noritsu machines at different people's places, or Fuji. There's a lot of people that have this and offer a service. You could do it at home, but I'm not really sure what scanners still exist. I know Epson makes one, but again, it gets into a flatbed scanner. And it just takes, it's very, very time consuming.
Yeah.
Steven, you have anything to add? You scanned a lot.
Yeah, and there's also a send out service at a lot of your convenience stores, like your CVS, Rite Aids, all that crap, where it's called Yes DVD, and they will scan everything onto a DVD or whatever you want it on, whether it's negatives, film, all that kind of stuff, or slides.
I just
everything.
hate sending stuff in the mail.
I do too, and that's the thing that sucks about that service, is that you have to physically send them out, and it always makes me nervous for that kind of stuff.
Philip Mulder and Scully. Maybe you won't answer this because it's a bit private, but how's the economy with your YouTube channel? Can you get enough for a living? Any tips for starting up from scratch? So if there's a conception, that's not the word. If there is a perception that you can make a ton of money on YouTube, well, you can if you're somebody that has millions of subscribers and gets a ton of views. Now, you can make money off of YouTube as a smaller person. I started with 0 subscribers, and now there's about 207,000. You can make money on YouTube. Now, it's changed a lot in the past in the last 3 years since I've done it. I heard that before I started doing the monetization thing, there were less YouTube partners. Now, anybody pretty much can put advertising on a video. So what has happened is that has dropped the value of advertising. They're paying less because there's more inventory. They don't have to fight and bid over those video plays. That's how it works. An advertiser will bid on running it on X channel. I don't know if they do it by the name or they do it by the popularity and how many views it gets, but the more popular channels probably get a higher, what they call CPM rate, than the lower end channels. If you're just starting out, do not look to YouTube as a way to making a living. Some people can live off of YouTube when they're getting millions of plays a week. You can do it, and you can make money. I don't make the most amount of money on it, but it's not bad what happens. Now, let me tell you something else. I did not turn advertising on. The advertising that makes you more money so they have different Steven.
Yeah, break down the ads for them.
Let me break it down for people who don't understand how it works. This is how you make money on YouTube. If you don't have if you just started an account and you get like 5,000 views really quick on a video, this is just making a number up, YouTube will contact you and be like, hey, do you want to turn on advertising? Then they give you that option, but they choose all of the ways the ads are going to run. There's 3 different types of ads. There's the little banner pop-ups that pop up on the screen. Those don't make you a lot of money because people don't really click them. There's the pre-roll ad. You'll notice that my videos pre-roll ads allow you to skip them. If somebody watches the whole video, you make a good amount of money. I don't know what the percentages are. I don't know how, per video, but you'll make more money if somebody watches the entire ad and lets your video start, and you'll make no money if somebody skips the video. There's also an option where you can force people to watch 15-second ads before your video. You are forcing them, which means every time somebody sits through it, you are going to make more money. But in my opinion, I will make more money on my own website selling a video guide, selling t-shirts, getting traffic back to my site than forcing people to sit through an ad. When I started, I did not have ads running other than the banner ads that popped up on the video because I did not want to force people to sit through my videos, to sit through advertising before they got to the content. But once people once they know you and you've done this for years and years, then people are willing to sit through the ads. The mistake that people make today is they throw ads up. The pre-roll ads are the ones that force you to watch before they even have a following. So I'm not going to sit through somebody's a 30-second ad or a 15-second ad that I can't skip. I'll just turn the video off.
Yeah.
So that's the recommendation is if you are starting out, just give the stuff away for free. Turn on just the banner ads. You'll make a little bit. You won't make as much, but as you become bigger, then you can start turning on I fought with myself for a long time to put on the pre-roll to even allow skipping. I made like 3 times as much money by doing that, but it also has leveled out now with all of the people doing advertising. I know I spent a lot of time on that, but I don't know many people who talk about this and actually give you information on how it works, but that is how it works. Without telling you physical numbers, it's not a bad living per se if you have another job and you make other income. It's not terrible. It's great. I mean, the first time I made money on YouTube, I made like 40 cents. And I was like,
that's like what I make.
I was like, oh my God, I made money off the internet. I was like, 40 cents. I don't care. It's 40 cents. I made money on the internet. It's just an amazing thing that you can create something and there's money that shows up. That's it, Steven.
You should do a whole YouTube show. That's what you should do.
On what?
On YouTube stuff, just your settings or whatever you do.
Yeah, that's something I could do too.
Yeah.
I wanted to put out like a video guide for YouTube people, the proper settings, anybody that but I don't know that I want to spend the time doing that.
I feel like that would be a pretty good seller too.
Well, it'd be a seller to people that want to get into podcasting and blogging and doing all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Did you raise or lower my levels there?
Raise them.
All right. Why, was I not talking loud enough?
You got a little lower.
Oh, it's because I tilted away from the mic. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know where I was going.
Well, if you're going by that 15 minutes, by the way, you got a minute left.
Yeah, I'm not going by that 15 minutes
I
anymore. How's the camera over there?
We're good.
Well, yeah, that means there's like 5 minutes left on it, I think. So if I was to make one of those YouTube things, it would be the basics of photography that I'd probably include my beginner guide and say, watch this, and then do a video portion of it, and then get into telling people how to do YouTube. But I'm going to skip past that now. Ian Middleton Duff. Hi, Jared and Steven. Have you ever had the feeling when you have taken the shot and thought, wow, that's a keeper, before you even look at it on your computer screen?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
I've done that too. And then there's times that you're like, yeah, that's the shot. That's the shit.
And then you get on the computer.
And then you get on the computer and you're like, nope.
Or it's like slightly out of
something's
focus
wrong
or
because
something.
you're looking at a 3-inch screen.
Exactly. It looks super sharp.
It goes both ways.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're surprised at what you found. You're like, I don't remember that.
That happens more often, I think.
Kyle Heeb. Hey, Fro, software question for you. I'm thinking of upgrading to Lightroom 5. Do you have any thoughts on Lightroom 5? Good, bad, ugly. Also, I'm not sure if you talked about it or not, but what do you think about Adobe's Creative Cloud? Obviously, we've already talked about that in a past Raw Talk episode. There's no reason not to go to Lightroom 5. Have you done it, Steven?
I actually have not yet.
Neither have I.
I need to do it.
I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stay there until one day I get around to doing it.
It's not, it's a $79 upgrade. I just haven't done it. I have to do it. I just have to make sure everything's backed up and before you do it. But yeah, I need to download it. It's not a big deal. I think it's probably a faster running app and cleaner, faster opening, just a much better engine, I think.
Yeah.
Matthew Carbo. I've begun my photographic venture 6 months ago. I'm looking for models so I can begin portrait shoots. I don't know any though. How can I get in contact with models who are willing to work with a beginning photographer? None of my small circle of friends are interested, and I've had no replies to Facebook posts. So this is coming from a younger guy.
I'm available.
Well, I'm not going to yell at him because he's a younger guy, but you've got things like Model Mayhem, where you can find models. There's a ton of models on Model Mayhem that are just looking for photos. And I've seen lots of terrible photos because a lot of times they're for free. But that's a way to get models. You're in a school, go find the girl or guy that is in band. No, not band. They're in the play or something, and ask them if they'll pose for you. You just have to go ask people and get them to say yes. But check out some of the internet stuff, but be careful. Chris Frozen, next generation of cameras. What are they going? Where are they going, and with what functionality? To me, they're going the dynamic range route. That's the next thing that will continue to get better. Better color, better representation. ISO has already been taken care of. They're going to continue to push ISO, but they're going to beat the crap out of dynamic range. The better the dynamic range, the more realistic the image is going to look. That's what HDR does. It expands the dynamic range. We've seen 12 stops of dynamic range in our cameras now. We're going to start to see 20 stops. You're going to start to see 30 stops to where it picks up great shadows and great highlight detail.
What is it, the D800 that has the 14 stops or something like that? That's awesome.
I still hate that camera. Joseph Magsig. Seems like one of the hardest things is getting the last comment. Really? What's that supposed to mean? The commitment. I read that wrong. Seems like one of the hardest things is getting the last commitment. Of course, it's like closing out Game 7 of the Stanley Cup, or winning the 4th game of the Stanley Cup. Getting the game-winning game is always harder. I just lost a wedding due to the fact that this couple wanted somebody cheaper. Okay. I did give them a deal from the starting price I had, but with the driving time and the hours they needed me at the church, I just couldn't fold to a terribly low price. I offered free prints and stood my ground on what I thought was fair for both of us. They went with the cheaper one.
Did he list the price?
Can't win them all. No, he didn't.
Huh. Wonder what it was.
I guess, but you can't win them all, I guess, but the photos won't lie. Just thoughts, comments, or advice would be cool. Thanks. Did you ask them what they were comfortable paying? If you ask them what they are comfortable paying, then you know your starting point. Then you make the decision. But it sounds like they did tell you what they wanted to pay, and it wasn't what you wanted or what you thought was fair for your type of work. So walk away. Sometimes you're not. If somebody is just price shopping, I find it hard to do their weddings because they tend to be harder to deal with than somebody who knows what they want or somebody who's willing to pay you a little bit more. If they're just price shopping, it's hard. You have to have a bottom line that you're willing to take. Don't start taking away services that you do just to bring the price down. I used to say there's services like, I give you 400 proofs, I do this, I do that, and that's all included. And then you get people going, well, we don't want the proofs. I'm like, well, that doesn't take off $500. That cost me maybe $60, no more than $100 to put 400 proofs in a book into an album for you. So no, that is just part of the service. Taking away bits and pieces isn't going to make it any cheaper. That's just what I tell people. Does that make sense?
Makes total sense, yeah.
Lower my levels real quick because I'm going to yell. We good?
Yep.
Squirrel! Okay, you can raise my levels. That's from Steve Talamantes. Damian Sawyer. Hi, Jared. I'd like to know just how you find that work-life balance. Wow, a lot of these questions this week. You always seem to be putting out great content for your followers, as well as still earning an income, plus creating and overseeing the production of the new Flash Guide, etc. How do you manage all this while still maintaining time for yourself? Well, Steven will tell you that he gets emails from me at 1 in the morning.
Everything.
Actually, there was a 4 in the morning one the other week.
I know.
The other
I woke
day.
up at like 7 in the morning. I'm like, what the?
What was Jared doing up at 4? Meg was asking the same. I just drew on the table. Damn
Every week.
it. I just doodled on the table. Doodled. Yeah, Meg was wondering what I was doing up at 4 a.m. I don't know. I wake up and sometimes things happen. But anyway, I have a balance. Like I said earlier, we create a ton of content that allows us to go do other stuff while the content is there. You can preset things on Facebook to go live. You can preset things on Twitter and Facebook. I already said Facebook. I meant YouTube and also on the website. So there's ways of doing it where you can make it seem like you're being extra busy, but you're not. But we're always busy. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Jonas, Joonas. I'm going to go with Jonas Pupo, Puuppo. Who is Jared Polin in 2023? What does he do? What are his main accomplishments and failures, both career-wise and in personal life? And just to be clear, I don't want to invade your privacy. How much you want to share is needless to say, your choice. 2023, that's 10 years from now?
Mm-hmm.
I'll be 42 years old.
Old man.
I have no freaking idea what I'm going to do next year. I worry. I mean, I'm a worrier. That's what I do. I hope I'm able to sustain what I've created here and continue to grow and to continue to make a living at what I do. So in 2023, I hope I'm settled with some lady, with some kids or something, at least, little froze running around. I mean, I have no idea. I really don't. I don't know. I really do. I think about it a lot, but I have no clue, and I try not to let it weigh me down. Lottie Schrander. Hi. I'm shooting mostly concerts with my Nikon D3100, but the highest ISO I can get is 3200. That means I need to slow down my shutter speed, and I'm already shooting at f2.8. What do you think What do you think I do? You think I can do without getting moved photos and okay? What do you think I could do to not get images with movement and dark images? I don't know. I made up the last part to correct it. But first off, 3200 ISO is a great place. You can see the roll of film that I produced that was 3200 ISO, black and white film that looks like Swiss cheese, but it looks fine. You can do this. I did a concert at a D3000 with the 14 to 24, 24 to 70, and 70 to 200, but I did it with the D3000 that maxed out at 1600 ISO. If I can do it with that, you can do it with a D3100. You have the f2.8 lenses. You can do this. You may need to slow your shutter speed down, but you have to figure out how to compensate. Don't always bump that ISO. If they're running around, then you may just need to wait till they're still to get the image. You just have to know your limits and know what your shutter speed's capable of. So I don't think there's anything you can do other than just shoot with what you've got. Attikin Ergin. Is there a quality difference in cropping the image in post-processing and instead cropping it in camera using the crop mode like on the D70-100? That's a good question. If I had my druthers, I would say crop it later versus the crop mode in the camera, because what's happening, for those who don't know, in the D70-100, you can crop it from a 1.5 to a 2x sensor, I believe. So it's 2x magnification, but it's giving you a smaller portion to shoot. So if you cut somebody's head off, that data's not there. But if it would have been there in the DX sensor part, I'd rather have you crop it later than crop it in the camera personally, because I think that you're better with your creative crop than the camera. Austin Paxton, I'm getting a D600. Should I sell my D3100 and put it towards a full frame lens? Yeah, absolutely. Get rid of that D31. Get rid of bodies. Get glass. David King, with modern lenses just getting sharper and more perfect, what are your thoughts about using older lenses, equipment to get more unique images? Or do you feel it's best to get a perfect image in the camera, then add then add the effect you want in post-processing? I found that some older lenses have a distinct look. Well, look, if you're going for something with a distinct look, then by all means use one of those older lenses. A lot of people are using the older lenses when it comes to doing video, because you can use some of the older Nikon lenses on the Canon cameras, and with a mount, they work with a special ring. People do that because they're just manual focus lenses anyway. I don't think you need to have the best lenses all the time to get the perfect shot. If your idea is trying to get something interesting, if that's what you're trying to do, then do whatever you want with the lens. Put Vaseline on it, for God's sake, and then shoot through it and see that it creates a blurry image, if that's what you're looking to do. Excuse me. Steven, that has brought us to the end of the flying solo portion. Oh boy, that's a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm. A lot of good stuff.
Why'd the GoPro die?
Did it die?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. We're having all kinds of camera issues today.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I don't know why the GoPro died. I charged up the external battery.
Do you know when it died?
No.
Uh-oh.
That's such crap.
Hope it didn't die 8 minutes ago when I had to reset your camera.
Well, who cares?
Well, they're going to be...
There'll be some... Anyway,
some kind
let
of
me just
message
get
on the
this
screen.
done with. Don't forget about Nikon Allen's Palooza. That's going to be September 21st from 12 to 4. You actually get there a little earlier. Whatever. It's a Saturday.
Camp out the night before. Why not?
Yeah, you can camp out in the parking lot. There's going to be food, fun, rapid-fire critiques, and a lot of prizes to give away. Steven, thank you for your photo news.
You're welcome.
For all of the photo news, check out froknosphoto.com/podcast. Just look for the podcast number 48, because that's what this episode is. And that is really all I have for this week. Download this MP3. Go wherever you want. Subscribe. Look out for the flash guide coming soon. Jared Polin, froknosphoto.com. See ya.